Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Mohannad Jaffal, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Heart of the Fight podcast. Today, our topic is going to be about how discipline always beats motivation. So, this is a topic that can apply to your everyday life, not just your personal, it can also apply to your school life, work life, to your personal goals, and to your athletics and sports. So, motivation is considered to be unreliable because motivation ultimately depends on mood and energy. When you take a look at your motivation, you may see that depending on your mood and how you are feeling that day, that is what, how do I say this, keeps or measures the motivation. So if you are in a bad mood, if you have no energy, you have no motivation at all. Discipline, on the other hand, no matter what emotion you may be feeling, no matter how tired you may be, discipline will keep you going. Because that's discipline is all about doing the stuff that you don't want to do, but doing it like you love it. Motivation is doing what you want to do. Discipline, it takes you to a spot where you're doing something you don't want to, something you may not be comfortable doing. Motivation, it's something that you're doing and that you want to do it. It's complete opposite of discipline. One example, like I feel like this relates to me, is that usually sometimes when I go to training and I have no energy and my mood isn't the best, I still train anyway. Actually, before training as well. So like even though I may have had a bad day, I may have had low energy, I still go to training because that's where discipline takes me. Motivation, on the other hand, if my journey entirely depended on motivation, I would not be in the spot that I am in right now. Because motivation, like I said, depends on your mood. If you are in a bad mood, you have no motivation at all. And if I was in a bad mood and I solely depended on motivation to keep me going, I wouldn't have gone to training. I probably wouldn't have made as much progress as I would have now. So, how do I say this? Even when I felt tired or busy or unmotivated to train, even like now, today was a busy day. Like, let me tell you, so I had school, then I had to go to training, and then I spent 30 minutes in the house to be able to come here and to record this episode for you guys. So that is what, even though I may not want to go to training, I could have skipped, but because I don't depend on motivation, I went anyway. I juggled getting out of school to be able to go to training and then finishing training and coming here to record the episode. So discipline is really all about doing something that you are not comfortable doing. It's about you putting yourself in a spot where you may not want to do something. Like, let me tell you something. In boxing, for example, it's not always that I want to go to training, that I want to train, that I want to hit the bags, that I want to spar, that I want to hit pads, whatever. That's not always the case. You get what I mean? Discipline, there were lots of times where I did not want to do anything, where I just wanted to go home and sleep for the entire day, really. But in my mind, I was like, no, put yourself in the gym, go train, and training, it's not entirely comfortable. It's not like it's something so easy. No, in training, it's tiring, extremely tiring. And I'm going through camp right now. Let me tell you, I'm going through camp for fight night in December 13th. So you can imagine how juggling school, training, and personal life may not that much, but you get what I mean. It's tiring. But in the end, it will be worth it, I believe, because inshallah, I will be able to rise to a level that's good, and inshallah, I have a good stuff in the future in store for me. So, discipline really doesn't really depend on anything. All you need to do is just have mental health, and that's it. What I mean is that you don't need to be happy, you don't need to be sad, you don't need to be angry, you don't need to be depressed or whatever, because your discipline doesn't depend on your emotions. If you are mentally strong, if you do stuff that even you don't want to do, that's called discipline. You get what I mean? Motivation, it's simply where you feel happy. So you're like, okay, I want to go do this because I feel so happy. I feel so energized, inspired. What happens when that inspiration runs out? What will you be left with? You'll be left with discipline. That depends if you have it. When your happiness runs out, when your motivation runs out, when your inspiration runs out, when your drive runs out, what will keep you going? Your discipline. For me, I lost inspiration. I used to not feel inspired anymore. I didn't have a drive. I wasn't motivated, and I still kept going. I still kept going and pushing forward. Because I don't depend on motivation, I depend on discipline. And you should too. You shouldn't let motivation be the entire pillar of your journey. No, discipline should be what's carrying you forward. Because in the end, when you lose everything related to your motivation, you're going to be left with your discipline either way. So it's either you're going to be suffering with the motivation and it running out frequently before, or you're relying on your discipline and your journey is based off of it. Simply doing something you don't want to do, it shows you're strong. Doing something you don't want to do, putting yourself in a position where others may not want to put themselves, it shows that you're stronger than others. Like me, for example, like I had my 16th birthday a couple of days ago, so I can officially say I'm a 16-year-old boxer and runner. At this age, when I take a look at my journey, I see that I put myself in I frequently put myself in positions where I'm uncomfortable. Like, let me tell you, yesterday I had sparring for fight night. We're taking sparring more seriously because we need to spar so that we can simulate the fight for fight night. I did not want to spar. I did not feel motivated to spar. I did not want to spar at all. And I felt a bit of fear before sparring, like any other human would. Because like I said before, feeling fear is normal. Feeling fear is what makes you human. And if you don't feel fear, you're not human. Simple as that. So when it came time to spar, I went into the ring with fear. But then as the round gradually passed, I started to become more relieved and connected with the ring. Because that's how sparring usually goes. People are scared that sparring will hurt them, but honestly, you don't actually feel anything when you spar. Like it's the adrenaline. The adrenaline is what keeps you from getting hurt during. Actually, you do get hurt, but like not severely. What I mean is the pain is delayed until after you're done. So you can see that I was not motivated at all to go in there and spar. I had no reason to. Simply, okay, I had the fight ahead of me, but at the same time, I had no reason to. I could have just relied on hitting the bags and hitting pads to prepare me for the fight. So I had nothing to actually drive me to spar. And I was like, and it could have seemed to be useless. No, even though I did not want to do sparring, I still went in the ring and I did my rounds anyway. There are lots of risks that come with depending solely on motivation. Because I said motivation is finite. Motivation runs out. Motivation is not unlimited. Like motivation, it fluctuates, it changes. You may have high levels of motivation, low levels of motivation. Discipline, it's steady. Same level, does not increase, does not decrease. Because how are you supposed to measure the level of discipline if you're going to do something every day that you don't want to do? You can't measure the level of that. The risks of relying solely on motivation is that you might give up early. Because when you take a look at a hard journey and your motivation runs out a quarter of the way through, what's going to keep you going? Discipline. Motivation will leave you. Motivation will fail you at some point. And this may not be the case for everyone, but I do believe it. I do believe it might be. Motivation is not unlimited. Motivation, you need to have a good mood for your motivation to truly work. Discipline is what's going to keep you going. You take a look at famous fighters like Canelo Alvarez, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Dimitri Bivol, all of these fighters. You think motivation took them to where they are now? You think they've always had days where they've always wanted to go to training and have always wanted to spar? No. Of course, they've had days where they don't want to go to training. They did it anyway, and look at where they are now. They're all world champions. So the risk of relying solely on motivation is that you may end your journey early before you get to reach a level where you truly reach your full potential. And that is something I hope like none of you actually get to. Like I really don't want to see someone stopping a journey way too early. Because let me tell you something. Me going through my journey, when I had my first fight, that was like a turning point. Honestly, it made me think like, should I just stop my journey here? I mean, should I keep going? That may seem a bit dramatic, but if you are a fighter, I think you're gonna understand the feeling of losing a first fight and judging whether your hard work truly matters and whether you are truly, how do I say this? Whether your hard work didn't go to waste. So after the fight, it like a small thought came, like, should I keep going? I mean, I took a break for like 2 weeks, and that was something I actually shouldn't have done. I took a break for 2 weeks to spend more time with my family, but at the same time, I was running away from the reality. When I came back to Abu Dhabi in the end of August and in September, I came and I redefined my purpose. I didn't want to run away anymore. I went back into the gym. I started training again. I started sparring, and I started having a new goal in place to win my second fight. And inshallah, I'm gonna achieve this. I've been training hard. I've been sparring, and I hope all of this hard work is gonna be paid off and fight night 5. Discipline, like I've said, it's showing up when you're uncomfortable. Because let me tell you something. If you always wanted to feel comfortable to be able to do something, are you really think you're gonna succeed in your journey? No, you're not. Like, I wanted to say that there were long training sessions after school. I've had lots of long training sessions, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes, 3 hours. You can see how that's grueling, how that is tiring, how like you could probably feel it through the camera. So like motivation, let me tell you, this my entire journey does not depend on motivation at all. No, it depends on discipline. Because I'm always trying to show up and do something even when I may not be comfortable doing it. Like the training sessions after school. Do you really think I've always had the motivation to be able to go and do the training after school? No, I didn't. The discipline is that I put myself back in there to do it, even though I may have felt uncomfortable, even though it may not have been the best thing even though I may not have believed that was the best thing at the time. Discipline is a decision. It's not a feeling. Because discipline is not something that you feel. It's something that you decide to do. You're the one who decides whether you want to get up, whether you want to go train even when you don't want to. You're the one who decides it. It's not your it's not your mind. It's not your soul, your heart. It's you. It's your mind. You're the one who decides. One way you can actually build discipline is that you can stick to a routine. Is that you can try consistently putting yourself in positions where you might be tired, or you give yourself a schedule where it might not fully pair along with a initial schedule that you have. Maybe may it be with work, with school, whatever. You can create a schedule so that like training, for example. You try to stick to that routine and remind yourself that even though it may get hard, still show up. That is how you build discipline. To build discipline, you need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's overall how you build discipline in general. So you need to do small, consistent actions every day, and that can pile up to form a larger form of discipline. So like you should try and do something that you may not want to every day, whether it may be training, whether it may be running, whether it may be, for example, cleaning your room or something. Do something that you that may need require you to work so that you can build discipline and start frequently doing stuff that you don't have. This was said by Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, he said that discipline is essentially doing something that you hate to do, but doing like you love it every day. I remember this. He was being interviewed, and the interviewer was asking him like, Mike, why did you used to get up and run at 4 a.m. in the morning or something? And then he answered, it was like, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing like you love it every day. And that is something that's actually extremely true. Coming from a esteemed champion like himself, that's something that I totally agree with. Is that discipline is essentially based on doing something that you hate to do, but you're doing it anyway. You need to do small, consistent actions daily. And when you don't feel like doing it, remember your why. Remember what's the bigger purpose that you have. Why do you want to do this? Was it to accomplish a certain goal, to reach a certain level or something? These habits can help you in every aspect of your life, whether it may be your schoolwork, like an example for school. If you get back home and you're tired, you don't want to work, you don't feel motivated to work. When you build discipline, you're gonna feel that as soon as you get home, okay, you're tired, I'm gonna do my work anyway. I'll do it anyway so I can get it over with. In school, same thing. You may not want to be motivated to go, but you go anyway. I mean, even though some of you guys just may be forced to go to school, but forget about that. In training, this is the most important one. That's what I'm talking about. Training. Even when you may not be motivated to go anyway. Your motivation is gonna run out soon, and I said this already previously. Your motivation is gonna run out. It's not infinite. The discipline is what's gonna keep you going in the end. When you take a look in the mirror and you see that there's nothing driving you anymore, you're gonna realize that discipline is what's keeping you going, even though you may not be entirely motivated to do it. Discipline is what's keeping you going. I want to say that discipline has actually had an extremely important impact on my life because, like I've said, discipline has shaped my entire journey and has shaped my character itself. It's like I don't wait to be motivated to go do something. No matter what my state may be, I go do it anyway. And I hope this is something that you all can do as well, just like I did. Because it's taken 2 years so far of my journey, and discipline is actually extremely important, and discipline is an extremely important aspect that's going to lead you to success. Discipline, it will transform your training and your mindset. Because when you take a look at your training, you're going to training consistently, following your discipline. Where you may not be motivated at the same time, you're gonna realize you're gonna reach a new level. Because this is a level that not lots of people reach in their lives. Going to boxing alone and being a fighter is a huge step up from just being an average person. It separates you from the rest because you are a person who's working every day. But being a person who is going to training every single day when they may not be motivated to do so and they're solely relying on their discipline, that puts you at an even higher level. That puts you at a level of extreme work and where you are considered to be, how do I say this, a hard worker, a good fighter, and someone who doesn't easily fall victim to their emotions. Discipline teaches you resilience, consistency, because when you have nothing to drive you except discipline, you're gonna be more consistent in everything you do. Like I said, in training or in school or in work or in personal life. It teaches you resilience. Is that you, even though you're facing challenges your way, you still keep going. You're still pushing through despite the challenges that may be in your way or that you are seeing. So I want to encourage you guys to rely on discipline instead of your motivation, because your motivation is your discipline is what's keeping you going at the end. Motivation runs out. I've said this countless times. Motivation runs out. It's finite because you need someone to continuously feed you motivation. Discipline, you only need yourself. If you master discipline and you master your mind, then simply you're gonna succeed, inshallah. Anyways, I know this may not have been the best episode and may not have been a totally elaborative topic, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. And I'm happy to have you guys for the second episode, and stay tuned for the third episode. This is Mohamed Jafal signing out. Assalamu alaikum.